All right, here we go. Hey heroes, Cole's here. Today I'm going to be running through Boss Brawl. It's the Goblin robot, Goblin machine. And I'll walk you through my build, I'll walk you through my jewel setup, and then I'll go through kind of my strategy going into Boss Brawl generally, and then answer any questions you have about this boss or any of the bosses. So real quick, I just set up my jewels and my equipment. So I go for Rogue, Ranger Boots, and Wizard Ring. Wizard Ring is actually real big here. The damage to Frozen is the most important part of Boss Brawl. So when the boss revives, he's frozen, and that's the most important part where you do like 80% of your damage. So the amp to Frozen is actually really big from Wizard Ring. And then I go Ranger Boots because I don't mind picking up experience. If you have enough cooldown, or you can substitute out Wizard Boots to collect XP for you, and then you don't have to move around as much. So if you're lazy or you have enough cooldown elsewhere, you can sub out Ranger Boots for Wizard Boots. But I personally like Ranger Boots. On the jewel side, it's the standard kind of max DPS, so it's vulnerability, projectile M, projectile P, cooldown to 60%. So the boss's cooldown, in Boss Brawl, the cooldown max is 90%, and you get 30% from the cooldown tome. And then I run area of effect on Warlord only, just as a way to make sure that like more of his attacks hit the boss. And then movement speed is actually really important. So when they nerfed bosses so that they don't get slowed anymore, they run fast. And so I run one movement speed jewel every week to make sure I don't get hit by the boss. And then critical strike until critical strike hits 100% in the stats screen. So other heroes, I will switch out the area of effect for more critical strike in order to get them closer to the cap of 100. Hey, Spider Pig, how are you? Thanks, guys, for joining. Appreciate it. So I have, I got Lena sent me tickets. So I have 18 tickets right now. I'm only going to do 10 runs, so I stay true to the game here. But you can help me pick which heroes you want me to run. Throw any in chat that you want me to give a shot. I'm going to do Warlord, Bunny, and Sentry Specialist as like my default 3. But then beyond that, feel free to choose. I will also say that before I do a Boss Brawl run, I always go and I look at past boss runs for the boss on YouTube. So Wave is the best source for this. Wave is one of the best players. He's retired now, but he uploaded every single boss fight and when the revives are, which is the most important part of the fight. So you can go and like watch him to get a sense of when you're going to need to revive. You can time from the time the boss dies until he hits vulnerability before you go in, so you can like mentally prepare. At least that's what I do, and then a little thing to like max your score. And then I usually run like not my best heroes right away. One for practice, and then two because usually the end of the week you'll have like some more power ups. Like for this week, for example, I ended up getting Cow Whistle in the middle of the week, and I ended up getting Dynamite Slingshot, which is a story to tell. So I try and leave my best heroes for the end of the week, just so I have more practice, and so that like any power ups I get during the week will be applied to my better heroes. So I'm gonna like be speed running it and doing all 10 runs at once, but I'm gonna start out with like a relatively weaker hero just so that I can practice the run, because I haven't done Goblin Robot now in like a month. So I gotta remember like all of his little intricacies. So I'll start out with somebody like Assassin maybe, just to give it like a decent go at it, and then we can go from there. So heroes, Assassin. So the one issue with Boss Brawl is because all these heroes have different cooldowns internally, you do have to play with it a little bit, like what you're like hitting the cooldown cap. So if you look here, like Assassin's already at 66% cooldown and 86% critical strike. So what I do with Assassin is actually push his cooldown to 70. So I only need 2 points in cooldown tome, and then I push his critical strike for the rest. So it would be something like taking out these area of effect guys and putting in critical strike. So critical strike here, and then like cooldown here, because he doesn't need the additional area of effect. So that gets my critical strike to 91, and my cooldown's at 71. So I could like, I only need 2 points in crit and 2 points in cooldown when I go into the run. And then the other interesting thing now is I have to think through all of my status effects because I need to apply burning, expose, poison, and bleeding. Assassin has bleeding and poison built in, so he's relatively straightforward. So I'm looking for bleeding and expose, and then getting borer as my like most effective damage item. So that's what I mentally prepare before I go into these runs, so I know what's coming. Like kind of visualizing what's going to happen before it happens as a way to like be ready for it. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm looking for burning as best I can with Assassin, and I didn't get it in the first two. So this is like suboptimal start. I might just like quit and come back because this is actually like really bad RNG. But that's what you can do. So if you give up in the first 10 seconds, you get refunded your ticket and you can try again. Because that was a mess of RNG. I got basically no weapons I wanted there, which is fitting for the very first go. All right, so pitchfork. All right. Evolving his main weapon is like also pretty important for most heroes. But I have issues with Assassin and projectile speed, so it's a hit or miss for me. I don't use Flame Striker because I'm going to get burning from somewhere else. I don't have like the set of special weapons leveled up yet to the point where like I'm like losing anything from just taking something that has burning in it. Man, my RNG on these first two attempts is not great, but let's just give it a shot here. Cooldown is the most important tome you want to grab. Let's see. Okay, so Dynamite, Slingshot, and Expose. This is my first week having Dynamite, Slingshot. I got it this week for being a creator. So as part of the creator program, I was gifted Dynamite, Slingshot. And so just as like a word of warning that I did not buy that, I was given it. Full disclosure. So there's the big attack that the Goblin Robot does. It's his... Let's see. I'm just gotta think. I need Damage Tome and Projectile Speed Tome. His big thing is the sets of rockets and machine guns he shoots at you, and you have to avoid those because they like instant kill you. So, all right, and then I need burning. So this is a pretty decent setup. This is like my pretty standard boss brawl setup for a hero like Assassin who gets poison and bleeding built in. Like I'm gonna get burning from Arcane Staff, exposed from Slingshot, and then my goal is to evolve Borer as fast as I can after my main weapon. And if I get to evolve a third, it'll be Slingshot, it looks like here, but I probably won't because I'm probably not going to have enough experience, but we'll see. All right, so for the boss and rage timer here, the key is actually just to stand right in front of them. Kind of as dumb as this sounds, the best place you can stand is like right here. And usually I'll get clipped by like one machine gun pellet, but not the more important one, which is the rockets, which will just instant give you. See right there, I evaded one rocket or one machine gun pellet, but if I had taken it, it would have been fine. I have enough health to live through it. I'm a little rusty at boss brawl, so I'm not like pushing it right now. But ideally, I should be like doing this at half health. You have a talent where for every percentage of health you're missing, you do increase damage. And so your goal is to actually do this run at as little health as you can if you want to like really push and max your damage. So later runs, I will do that. But on my first one, I'm just like trying not to die right now. And so I will focus more on like optimal like health percentages later in the runs. I'm getting very strange RNG. And it's also, I need to see if I can increase the lighting here. There we go. All right, now I can see. It's also important to know like which revive you're going for. So reviving, like letting yourself die at the optimal time is the key to maxing your score at boss brawl. And my goal here is to die in the last one, which comes around like 14 seconds, 20 to 14 seconds. Again, I watched Wave's video before this to make sure that I like had a sense of what was coming at me, because I haven't done Goblin Robot in a month, as we all haven't. And so I want to make sure that I know what I'm shooting for. I also then look at like from the time it dies to the time that the vulnerability comes, how long that is, so that I can better time it when I'm in game. So I have like 7 seconds between the time he enrages, the range ends, and he pops for revive. Again, your goal is to like stand in front of this guy and not move. You're basically like a T-Rex. I think this is the spider pig strategy, where you pretend he can't see you if you don't move, and you just stand right in front of him and try not to move. Yeah, and assassin auto targets. So like all I have to do is just make sure I don't get hit by stuff right now. Other heroes, you have to like turn around and stay close to the boss. And all right, so I took damage there on purpose to just try and start doing a little bit more damage if I can. But other heroes, you have to like orb walk as best you can when like turn and face the boss. All right, so here's the most important part of the run in a second. So this revive is the revive I think I want to die on. So I'm going to try and die here right after. So I'm going to try and get gipped by one of the projectiles, which I missed both of them. But then I want to die about 7 seconds from now. So let's see if I can die. Nope, that's going to be bad. Oh, come on, buddy. Die. Well, that went about as poorly as it could have gone, but such is life. And then Spider Pig told me, never use gems on revives. So there goes that one. But there's my first attempt. So I've had better. I didn't die on time. I wanted to get hit by one of those projectiles at the end, and he evaded both of them. The perks of being an assassin, I guess. So there's my first run. Not ideal, but now the rust is off, and I'll be better next time. Yeah, so expose doesn't get applied to all bosses. They have to move. But with Goblin Robot, he moves around and he'll hit the slingshots and expose. So it's that little like shield on him with the down arrow. That's the that's expose. All right. I mean, this looks pretty good. I did everything I wanted to do except die on time. So see if I can do it better next time. Does anybody have a hero they want me to try and run? I'm happy to give anything a shot here. I got Spider Pig asked me to do Paladin and Spirit Shaman, so I can run those. But I can also not if like actually want me to like try hard. So let me know in the chat if you want me to have any particular hero you want me to run. All right, so I'm gonna try not to suck this time. So that was getting the let's just say that was getting the nerves out. So now I'm gonna try and not suck. And I'll run Assassin again, and this time I'll actually try and do max damage. So I'm gonna try and take damage mid-run. Okay, expose, so that I can maximize my damage throughout the whole run. And then I have some tricks for Warlord too that I will also throw at you guys that are like unique to Warlord. And I guess other heroes in the Warriors faction potentially, but it's Warlord and this is the main guy I'm focused on. All right, burning, cool. So I have all my status effects now. So now I want Borer and Pitchfork just for max damage. Borer, let's Pitchfork. I'm gonna get Borer here. All right. If I don't take, I can exit the game. I can exit this run still. I could exit this run. For Borer, though, I'll just go Poison Darts. I could exit the run, but I'm not going to because that's lame. I'll just deal without having Borer. All right, so like right now, like I can just take some splash damage. So now I'm doing 50% more damage from being at half health instead of full health. So that's what I mean by like purposely giving yourself a little bit of damage, especially with someone like Assassin where he's just not in like any danger of being hit by the boss if you're paying attention. So taking an extra splash damage is totally fine. So like boop. Okay, the one part I guess is during this, after this enrage, if I'm not at like 3/4 health and I get hit by one of these projectiles, then I might die. So, all right, just standing still, Spider Pigging it. And then if I stay at half health too, it'll help me when I actually do want to revive and die to come back. So I want to evolve Pitchfork now that I don't have Boar. That's my little like adjustment here. So I'm gonna go Duration Tome. And then I might just not go Critical Strike Tome because I'm only getting 10% Critical Strike. I'd rather have Projectiles because Projectiles will amp my damage more relative to Critical Strike in this particular run. Standing on the boss is also the best idea for like maximizing your damage. All right, Pitchfork's my next evo. So what am I still waiting on for? I'm waiting on Damage Tome. Yeah, Damage Tome, there it is. You do want to make sure that you space yourself out appropriately from the fire on the ground, because that'll hit you too. If you have to run over that fire stuff, that has a tendency to kill you, which you don't want. And then I always try and max damage tome, projectile tome, and crit tome generally, because the main weapon is your most important weapon, and you want to make sure that that's doing as much damage before you evolve a secondary weapon. So always like try and maximize the damage of your main weapon before worrying totally about your secondary. But it is good to like have at least one evolve by the time like you're in the last bit against the boss. All right, so like purposely take a little bit of splash damage there, like right now. But oh, that was a lot. That was a lot of purposeful splash damage. I swear I'm going over those spikes on purpose. All right, so the key here is I don't want to die on this enrage. Like this boss, it's very common to die on this enrage by accident, and that's not optimal. Cool. All right. Like, the evasion here is annoying. This guy's too much of a ninja for his own good. At this point, I have everything I want, so, like, I'll go towards Arcane Tome. Or, sorry, Arcane Staff as, like, a second evolution. I don't think I'm going to get there in time, but it's fine. You do want to... Ooh, shit. Give yourself some space between that and the machine guns, so I do have a tendency to get clipped by those sometimes. These rockets will instant kill you, though, if you get hit by a rocket. Alright, so I want to, like, lose some health. Alright, there we go. And this time I'm actually going to die. I swear, on time. Alright, buddy. No? There we go. It died. Hooray for me. It was a little bit early, though, unfortunately. Man. Not my day. Wow, that was real early. Alright. Well, this is still going to be better than the last run. And that was real early. Whoop. Those are two very poor runs, I would say, about myself so far. That's too bad. Both of those were crap. Sorry for being crap. Yeah, I can do Spirit Shaman and the Knight. I can do both. That was really... I've had two really bad runs. These are not... I'm not happy with myself. My death timing is off. So... but I'll do Spirit Shaman and Knight. That's fine. Knight is hard to die. That's his biggest problem. It's just very hard to get him to die on time. Alright, so... let's gear up Knight. And then, can I put any points in his skills real quick? No. No, okay. Knight, right, one of his ultimate, right, is like you reflect damage back onto the enemy. So my goal with the Knight is actually to stand on the boss as much as I can. And that means that I also want to change up my hero camp a little bit. So I'm going to try and run at least one armor here, and then try and stand on the boss as much as I can. That's my one little adaptation with Knight. Let's see, what do I need to hit here? So 94% crit. Wow. This Knight's a beast. I might run two movement speed jewels because he's slow, though. And I don't feel like dying by accident, so. And then the other important thing is to check your collection to make sure that you have your forge set up right. So for him, I want bleeding and critical hit is fine. And then I don't know if this cooldown actually works or not. I'll give it a shot. I don't need it. I don't need the area of effect, so I'll give that cooldown a shot. And again, the hard thing with Knight is he's going to be dying on time. So I have done 2 very poorly timed deaths so far, unfortunately. Alright, exposed. So we have bleed in this kit, so we don't need to get bleed, but we do need poison and then burning. Alright, cool. So I got all my status effects right away. That's the big first thing to start out with. And then let's see how much damage he takes by just standing still. I'm hoping I can kind of just like hang out here, right next to the boss, and let him like hit me a lot. Man. Again with the right, might be a little bit of that. We're like, sheesh. God, this knight is slow. Run, buddy, run. Oof. All right, and he's got bleeding, so I'm looking for boar here as my last one. Man, he is a slow man. All that armor must be weighing him down to his soul. Sheesh. All right. With Knight, you do want to orb walk a bit. So, like, we're Assassin, I could just run around like an idiot. Knight, I have to turn around and try and hit the boss, right? Because, like, his attacks only hit forward for the most part. So I'm trying to, like, stay hitting the boss as much as I can. God, he's a slow guy. Let's see, at this point, projectile... Damage and projectiles. So let's go cooldown. Nice. Okay. Your one indicator with this boss is that red line. So when that red line comes out, that means he's about to like shoot you with something. So get ready. And you have to look for that through all the visual noise, right? Like I have visibility turned off and I'm still having trouble like finding that indicator. So pay attention for it, and then you also have, because you also have your death ray going back at him, and that's obviously not his visual indicator that he's about to shoot you with all of his might. Run away, run away. So over my left shoulder, I put in my new shelf hero. My son got one of these like Labubu dolls or something at the beach this summer. He kind of like won it in a that guy. He won it in a vending machine. And it looked pretty cursed, so I was like, all right, that's going on my shelf as a shelf hero. And then I Googled it, and apparently, like, there are, like, Christian organizations that think that that's a demon. So it looks demonish, and could actually be classified as a demon. So that's a fun little shelf hero I've added to my creepy set of shelf heroes behind me. They're apparently all the rage amongst the kids, amongst the children. I wouldn't know. All right, so like this, I'm trying to orb walk, which is like moving forward, turning back, to try and hit the boss as best I can. Ooh. But Knight's just super slow, so like that's really hard to do. It's easier to do with Warlord because you don't have the slowness gimp. All right, I'm worried that I'm not going to die again, but we'll find out. I don't know if I need that third point. I don't remember what my cooldown was in my stat screen. All right, at this point, going for like a second evolution. I'll just go Arcane Staff. Doesn't really matter for me all that much. I don't have like a second one that would be like great there, given my current status effective applications. All right, I'm gonna try and take some damage. I can't see his damage screen underneath Whirlwind, unfortunately, but it's gonna be hard to die. I'm gonna do my best. Let's just like take damage. I saw Wave standing. I'm gonna just try and eat some projectiles. Yeah? No? Really? Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Be the death you always wanted to be. No. All right, I successfully died before the run ended, so there's that. Whee! Yeah, Lancer's hard to die. Man, heroic gear actually makes it harder too in that sense. Like, it's hard to just time your deaths right. Poor knight. This, to be frank, is not high-level gameplay. I am not playing boss brawl well right now. I should probably do some warm-ups before I go like right into it. Where's Spirit Shaman? Oh, I can do Inkbot if you guys want. I have him. He's not going to be very good. I don't even have him at level 100. But where's Spirit Shaman? Oh, I would like to run Oracle. I got her Evo this week, so that would be a fun one to run. Where's Spirit Shaman? There she is. Don't feel bad. Dying with the knight's the hard part. Inkbot, I think is gonna be pretty good. I think it'll be a solid DPS hero. Probably not like top tier, like not like Dark Mage because the ultimate and everything has a little bit of a delay in it, but much better than Living Forge in terms of like straight damage. So something more like Sporemancer. I think a very good hero to have on your shelf. And if you like playing them, I think the animations are really fun. So like a good fun hero, particularly if you're new. Like if this is your first adventure, that'd be a great hero to pick up because it's going to do a lot of damage, and it'll be fun to play. So let's see. She's at 61% cooldown and 78% crit. So I don't need to run 2 movement speed jewels for her. She's fast enough. So more crit. So she's at 80, and then I have her forged up from being one of the free heroes, so that's something. Although she evolves off of Recovery Tome, so it'll be a little bit an awkward take, but it's fine. Spirit, we don't need more movement. Let's do area. Spirit Beast do more damage, all right. And then she suffers from the fact that bosses can't be slowed because her aura would slow the boss, and it doesn't, and so she doesn't get the damage amp that she otherwise could. All right, so her build is the same as the other ones. Oh, wait, I gotta change something. Okay, so I need burning from a pet here. Because I want exposed, bleeding, poison, and borer, I need to use my pet to get burning. So I think someone mentioned this in chat, but I'm gonna substitute out my Hydro Basilisk, or what is that guy, Pyrocrankin, for a Flame Striker. This will let my pet apply burning to the boss, and so I don't need to get burning as a status effect. That might also be optimal too. Like, I don't know if getting Arcane Staff is worth it relative to like maybe getting like Pitchfork if like you're really trying to min max, but it's not so important. All right, so I'm trying to get poison, expose, and bleeding. So I need to get poison, not poison dart. What is that thing called? Phantom Fang. I for the longest time had only the base weapons for like maybe the first 8 months of playing this game, and then the last several months I've just gotten loaded up with like all of these premium special weapons, and they are a lot of fun. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I am just missing Phantom's Fang whenever that decides to make an appearance for us here. And Spirit Shaman is another one where she's literally not doing anything. Like, quite literally, she doesn't do anything. Look at her. I could zoom in on her. You can see that she's just chilling. I guess what I need to do is stay close to my pets because her aura gives her pets a damage amp. So I need to like stay close enough so that my pets get the damage amp, but that I don't die from the boss. And I want to try and get Recovery Tome just to evolve my weapon for fun, but I don't strictly need it. Man, we are not seeing Phantom's Fang at all. Okay, so I do need to try and stay close because the aura around her is powering up the her little dogs to do more damage. And it looked like her dogs also just ate the bullets. So that's something to think about. Man. No recovery tome and no Phantom Fang yet? I gotta make sure I have Phantom's Fang set up in here. I thought I did. Alright, I just won't evolve her weapon. Oh man, I ate that bullet right in the face. Phantom's Fang? No. Game? Phantom Fang. No? Boar is my first Evo, so I'm not risking, like, not seeing Fang, and I'm just taking those as I go. I'm trying to take damage again. Heroic gear is making it very hard to, like, take damage, it looks like. Hey, it does exist. Alright, that's my bleeding status multiplier. So that's good. I have a theory that with Sentry Specialist, if you can keep her Sentry on the boss, it'll do reflection damage. I don't know if that's true or not. But I'm trying the same concept here with these wolves. Oop. I did not catch that end of that revive. Ooh. Why am I not taking damage this week? Like, what is this? Boar might end up being my most damage weapon at the end of the run here. There we go. You actually took damage. Oh, and now I died when I didn't want to die. Awesome. Alright, this round of vulnerability timing is actually my best one so far. I wish I had evolved Boar, but kind of sadly, like, that's my best vulnerability timing so far. If I time it right, the last one, I will use a gem revive just because, like, this is being silly at this point. Alright, I had evolved Boar, though. So that actually, for being an accidental death, actually was timed up pretty well. As far as Spirit Shaman is going to be. But I usually don't use gem revives because Spider Pig has shielded into me that there are better use for gems. And, like, I'm not going to get higher than, like, 7th or 8th in Boss Brawl. So there's no point in trying to, like, not point in wasting the gems for it. Can we take damage now? I took damage. Just not the kind I wanted. Alright. That was fun with Spirit Shaman. Okay, I'm going to try hard and do Warlord. Because I need to feel like I'm not awful at life. So let's give this a shot. Because I'm just playing god-awful. I'm playing some god-awful boss brawl right now. My mom and dad are not proud of me. Wherever they are strictly very sad that I exist. Let's see, I have way too much crit. So for... My brain stopped working. For Warlord, I'm looking for Area of Effect. That's what I'm looking for. Area of Effect here. Area of Effect will just let me, like, hit the boss more often, depending, like, on where I'm standing, but still maintaining enough, like, critical strike chance. And then the good thing with Warlord is that his crit and his CD are both capped, so you don't have to get any critical strike tome. Unfortunately, like, I don't really know what other tome I should be getting instead of it, but I can end up getting, like, XP and evolving 2 weapons. I need this to be crit, right? Alright, yeah, 100% crit, 66% cooldown. So this can be Area of Effect. There is something to maybe pushing, like, cooldown to 70. But I don't know if it really matters. I'll just make this Area of Effect and call it a day. Alright, 100% crit, 61% cooldown, and, like... So the one thing about each week's runs is that you have, for me, I have 4 runs that matter. Both my Warlord runs and both my Bunny runs. Basically what happens is... Bunny's a third of my score, and then Warlord's a third of my score, and then all other heroes are the last third. So the Warlord runs and the bunny runs are by far the most important. And so I'm gonna have to like pay attention and try hard a little bit. Maybe I'll talk a little bit less. I don't have Minotaur or Bulwark. I literally spent all my coins the day before they announced it, so it wasn't great. Yeah, I'm trying to think. It saves you 1 point, I guess, in the tome selection. So like maybe it'll let you evolve a weapon faster. Would be my one thought. I have burning from my pet still on. Doesn't really matter, so I don't have to worry about burning. So I can just like go like straight DPS here as best I can, and then I'll try and show you like the one trick that I use with Warlord, which is to just stand on the boss. So if you get Armor Tome, it'll let you stand on the boss with Quad Strike. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I have Quad Strike set up, so I gotta get out of here. The most important part of Warlord is having Quad Strike also active for the run. So, like, yeah, that would have been bad. Quad Strike, Brutal Force, Bleed Punisher. That maximizes your damage against a single target. Quad Strike says it shoots in all 4 directions for reduced damage, but all 4 directions can hit the boss. So if you stand in the middle of the boss, all 4 of them hit him. So Warlord is going to be... And then Faction Camp... Okay, yeah, 1 armor. So with this, I can like put a point in Armor Tome and then try and stand on the boss as much as I can without dying. So it's a risky game, but if you're like trying to max your DPS and push to the next level, with Warlord, every time you get hit, you have a higher chance to proc Wide Swing, which is where he does like a ton of his damage. And so getting hit as often as you can is actually good to proc more wide swings. And I'm going to have the same issue with him as I had with all these other heroes, where like dying is going to be hard. So it's risky to take Armor Tome, but it lets you maximize your DPS once you have Quad Strike. And I gotta not take any like stupid untimely deaths here. So I have Burning, so I can get Pitchfork. So I'll go Boar next, and I need Poison Darts. I have max crit, I don't need that. I can go XP Tome here. Well, I can go XP or Armor, so I'm gonna go Armor and see how this goes. So like, it lets me do this more with like more room for error. Yeah, I need Poison Darts is the big one I still need. There we go. All right, cool. Woo! Was not expecting you to shoot that way, buddy. Shoot your load the right way. Let's see. Cooldown, cool. So again, stand in front of the boss. I'm gonna have to work on like being at half health though for that last vulnerability. So I just like don't take damage. Like I ran into that on purpose. Let's see. All right, Boar. I got all my statuses, so Boar is the last take here. Cool. And like you can think during your item selection. Wave is really good at this. I'm not. Where like you can watch his videos and he'll pause and make sure I don't die. Make sure he has the right weapon selected. I have a tendency to just like push stuff, but that's technically suboptimal. Crap. All right, so I want Duplicator Tome. Duration Tome's fine. I need Duplicator Tome still. Don't need Evo. Pitchfork is my... so Boar is my next evolution. So I'm looking for Duplicator Tome. Be a nice little spike of damage. All right, so like... Ooh, just can't get hit by machine gun fire. Machine gun fire and rockets will take me out. But like right now, I'm going to try and stand on him as much as I can. He's going to enrage in a second. Let's go with that. All right, cool. So like right now, this benefit of Armor Tome is I can do this longer. All right, so all 4 of my things are hitting the boss at the same time. Problem is, I don't want to miss his indicator. It's just hard to see. I don't want to miss his indicator for when he's shooting at me. So that red line, like that's what kills me. That's what will kill you during your run. And that's the one you have to look out for. Where's Duplicator Tome? The RNG of these runs has like not ideal. There we go. I'm not going to heal because I want to make sure I die this time. Pitchfork's my next evolution here, but I'm going to go Duplicator Tome again because like my main weapon is still my most important thing. So even if I don't evolve Pitchfork, it's not the biggest deal. I want to make sure that I have all my points in Quad Strike for the final vulnerability phase. So now at this point, I'll start trying to evolve Pitchfork if I can, but it's not like vitally important. All right, I'm at a good health percentage here. If I can time this last Enrage right, we should be good. I'm putting up a decent score already. So I'm happy with this run so far. I just got to like die here. All right. So it's 7 seconds from the time his Enrage ends until his Revive starts. So let's see if I can time it right. So 13 seconds-ish. No, don't level up. Buddy. No! No! Die! No, he leveled up. No, man. Just such a bad week for me. Such a bad, sad week. I'm just going to stand here. Because, like, that's sad. So disappointing. I timed that incredibly well, and then I leveled up. And the level up timer bit my butt. Sad Coles. Sad Coles. All right. Well, I have one more time to just not be awful again. I'm going to go Bulwark first before Minotaur because I want to get the weapon up to the 3-star forge for the damage amp. And I think, like, I'm going to be too impatient to wait for Minotaur to get all the way there. So that's my quick take on it. All right, I'm going to run this at 1.6 speed because now I'm just frustrated with myself. That's probably not what I should do. Don't do that. Let's see. This choice doesn't super matter. I don't really want movement speed tome. Yeah, let's try that. I'm not dying, so like let's just make sure I die this time. Nice, expose. All right, I got all my statuses applied, so that's good. Setting myself up for success. And then after this run, I'll pull up my Boss Brawl logs and show you guys like how much damage I've done over time for each of my heroes. I've been logging it for like the last several months. What do I want here? I have damage, I have bleeding, expose, poison. All right, I got everything, so. I can show you like the impact of getting Warlord up to 5 stars, to a 5-star forge. And I can show you the impact of getting him up to 4 stars and then heroic gear. So like there's very clear like jumps in damage. Ooh, that was a misclick. It doesn't matter though. Okay. For as well as I've been running Dragon Tower on stream, this has been awful. Like I am not happy with myself. Problem is there's like no real way for me to practice this besides just doing it more. But I should be playing better than this. Let's see. Gotta evolve War Axe. That's the big, most important thing. I did that last run with Warlord actually like really, really well, except for the vulnerability timing. So like I was actually really happy with that up until the very last second of the run. I did a really good job during the previous vulnerabilities of like staying on the boss. I had all the weapons I wanted. It was actually a really, really strong run until I messed it up at the end. And like, I'm trying to take damage throughout this run. I guess the armor tome thing was a little bit too risky on this boss because like I'm just with heroic gear, I just don't die. So, do I need cooldown tome? Getting cooldown to 90 is the biggest single damage amp too, besides his evolution. All right, at this point, the Boar is my next evolution here, or duplicator tome. Look at the Phantom Fang just twirling around in circles. Wee, 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 wee. That was a really big boost for Sentry Specialist and Bunny getting Phantom's Fang, because they don't have a way to apply bleeding, and that status multiplier is pretty big. And then I got exposed this week, so like I should be having a good week when we look at my historical data, but I'm running this so poorly that maybe we won't. Alright, let's not die during this enrage timer. When you have movement speed, Tom, you fly. Sheesh. Alright, like, take damage, my brother. My green man. Thank you. Like, I feel like I should just run at this level and, like, kite appropriately. Otherwise, I'm just not gonna die in time. Woo! I should probably turn off my... messages. Oh, that wasn't particularly interesting. Whatever Sarah said, it was definitely spam, because I don't have any friends named Sarah. Alright, guys, so we just leveled up. We're at half health. And we're going to time this last stinking revive right. Okay, I'm just ultimating there. What is happening? What is going on? Can I get back to life and then die instantly? I can't, right? Die. Buddy. Alright. Be gone with you, Spider Pig. Double revive. This is like... It's like, what am I doing? You know? Like, you think you know yourself, and then you don't. And it's just like... everything is wrong. So I have like 2 runs that matter left. I got bunny. I have the 2 bunny runs. I need to like pull out the whole rest of the runs for me. Ugh. Ugh. All right. Let me see real quick if I can pull this up. Browser. Where is this gonna work? No, it's not gonna work. Let's see. Over here. No. All right, I can't pull up my. I'll do this for next week. I'll have my boss brawl data ready to go, but it doesn't look like I can pull it up. Let's see. Whoa. Video capture. There we go. All right, cool. A little big. All right, so I can do Warlord. Warlord data. And then this one ends tomorrow, so 8/29. All right. And then how awful was this? 793. Oh gosh. 793, 727, and 665, 039. 2. Okay, so my second run, I guess it was the second revive. They made it respectable, but it was not a respectable run otherwise. But what I can show you here is just like the improvement in damage to Warlord over time. So you can see like 2 months ago, I got I'll say this is like a month and a half ago, 339 with 5-star forge and no heroic gear. And then if you go back all the way to here, it was no forge, right? Let's see, where is he, Donkey Kong? 3-star forge, no heroic gear, 558. Look at that, 58. And then you look here, it's 665, or at least 529. So 10 times more damage with heroic gear and with a 5-star forge. And you can see the 5-star forge jump here, right? So like huge jump from like these two, like 3 times amp to your damage with a 5-star forge. So like really, really, really important going from 3 to 5-star forge. And then like optimizing your death timings is obviously also very important, which I did not do it all this week. So that's sad. I just got pulled up from having like 5-star warlord and heroic gear. And why is Spirit Shaman higher than Knight? I mean, this is like an awful, awful set of runs for me. So sorry, everybody. Did you have to watch this gross display of awfulness? I'm being too haphazard? I mean, being haphazard. I'm just not dying. Although, I guess I have died a couple times when I shouldn't have died. What do you mean by haphazard? There was the Spirit Shaman death that shouldn't have happened. I guess I died. I was trying to set up Warlord to make sure that he died, I guess, and then I set him up too quickly. Fair enough. That is fair enough. All right, Raven, 87, 56. So I need to get more. I don't need area of effect with her. We will do critical strike. And critical strike. Oop, no, I need cooldown. Cooldown. All right, so 60 there, 91 there. That's actually pretty good. I'll put another critical strike here. Having your faction camp have critical strike in it is just like such a giant boost to your DPS. It's nuts. You gotta have to add critical strike to all the other faction camps. And then let's see. Slow doesn't do anything against the boss, so it'll do magic damage. I feel like Void Raven is like one off of like yeah, so tomorrow I upped my vulnerability jewel today, but like tomorrow I'll be able to promote her up to 4 stars. That would be a nice little damage amp. I don't need anything there. She's level 120. I can go to 125. Boop. All right, give her a shot. So same thing here. I need to get bleeding, poison, expose, plus bore. Expose, damage. Critical strike is fine. I'm not at 100 yet. Nice Phantom Fang. And I need poison darts. This is one I'm still missing. So she's a lot like Assassin, where I don't really have to like stay close to the boss or like kite it or anything. I just have to make sure that I don't die, and that I cooldown duplicator 1 more, so that's okay to take. I gotta make sure I just keep enough distance and then don't die. And I'll try and be less haphazard in my movements. And try harder during it. Okay, cool. So I'm just missing Boar in terms of my weapon choice, which, like, if I miss also isn't the end of the world. I think Wave was a big proponent of, like, maxing out cooldown tome first. So that might be a little, like, slightly more optimal, but not entirely sure. Man, I'm really worried that I'm just not going to be able to die again. None of these guys are taking damage. Need boar. Alright, I only wanted 2 points in critical strike, so I can't put any more in that, at least optimally. Alright, I have 2 more runs that really matter in the form of bunny. So like, hopefully I don't just like crap myself again. And where's boar? Come on, game. At this point, it might just be like a dynamite slingshot evo. Although I doubt that's great because it's more of a utility tool, utility weapon than anything. There we go. I found you, my love. All right, I'm gonna try and get Boar before he hits his last revive phase, or his last vulnerability phase. You are so speedy with with movement speed, Tomir. I am such a quick little flock of seagulls. I guess technically a flock of ravens. Man, why am I just not, like, what is this? Get hit, bro. Again, ideally, I would have Duplicator Tome and Damage Tome all the way, and like, all the way maxed out. But I wanted to, I got such bad RNG with the weapons there that I'm just going to try and at least have board done. Alright, I'm at half health. Like, if I should be able to die appropriately here. Come on, game. Alright, this is where I want to be. Let's see if I can, like, just finally execute. Oh, look at me. I have an ultimate going right now. It's kind of unexpected. Alright. Alright, I got it. This is exactly where I want to be. Now just, there we go. Okay, I did that how I wanted to do it. That was what I wanted to, that's what I wanted to do the first 6 times. Finally did it. And it's with Void Raven. So do us proud, Voidy. That was perfectly timed. And the key was, actually, for me there, was getting the projectile, one of the projectiles during that enrage phase to hit me. That was like the one thing that helped me tremendously there. Because it put me at like no health. So I have to try and like do that fine balance where I get hit by a projectile during his enrage phase. In these last couple of seconds, I just stand on him and try and die. All right. So it's never a good week, I think, when Void Raven is your top DPS right there, right? Because like Spiky Borer is doing more damage than Dark Quills, which is not what you want. But I timed that revive perfectly, finally. So that's why she beat out both my assassin runs, which is really sad. She should not be beating assassin. But that was a perfectly timed run. All right, how many have I done so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. So I have one more fun run and then 2 more bunny runs. So I would get Cowbell over Pitchfork in the current one. Cowbell does, or Cow Whistle does, like much more long-term damage than Pitchfork, and will be more generally applicable. 5-star forged up, Cow Whistle is way better than 5-star forged Pitchfork. Okay, so I'm gonna do my bunny runs, and then I'll do the last one. Could be you guys choose. So if you let me know what the last one you want to do is, let me know, and I will do it. Bunny, bunny, bunny. Finally, so that's like that run right there was textbook. Took me 7, but I finally got to a textbook run. Let's see, his cooldown's at 65. We don't need that much cooldown. Crit. Crit. Crit's at 90. Cooldown's at 61. Perfect. Okay, cool. And so I'm pretty sure the reason why Bunny is so good at boss brawl is that when his skills both hit the boss a lot, and then when his attack hits it, it splits off into 8 different pieces. And I'm pretty sure those 8 pieces are all hitting the boss. And so that's why his damage numbers are like so obscene relative to like his relative strength. All right, so we got burning, poison, expose, bleed. So I need Phantom Fang. Phantom Fang is going to be important for him. And the RNG gods are loving me. So I need Phantom Fang and Boar. I have 1 free spot in Tome, so... No, I just need Phantom's Fang is big because it's like a 20% amp. On top of, for the status effect. So I have cooldown, duplicator, crit. Cool. Bunny is slow. Man, I just went from playing like Assassin on, from playing Void Raven on steroids with a movement speed tome to playing Bunny, and it is noticeably slower. All right, cool. All right, so I'm set up for success. My RNG gods weren't great. I got that recovery tome, which is actually going to be a pain in the butt, trying not to die, but everything else is looking good. So the key thing is just getting his weapon up to 5. I don't have the evolution, and then getting Boar up to 5. Those are our 2 goals. And then just not taking any awkward deaths. Haphazard. I won't play haphazardly. Or I'll try to play less haphazardly. So like that. Like I need to take 1 bullet in the face during that enrage, so that I have no health left for afterwards. And this is orb walking. So Bunny is the classic example of orb walking. The way you do the most damage with Bunny is you have to run away and then turn and face, and then run away and turn and face. And it's like not, and then shoot the boss when you can. So this constant like moving and turning, that's orb walking, and that'll maximize your DPS with Bunny. So I don't know if I've been doing that the whole time, but I should have been. I kind of just do it naturally at this point, but like it's a flick, it's like a back and forth flick. Each step you take, you ideally like want to be moving in between shots. It's a little hard to time, and I'm not like perfect at it, but that's the general concept. Is can you turn around in between attack animations and like still run away? And I'm in the middle of getting ultimated here, so find your center, Bunny. Good job, bud. All right, I can stop talking about orb walking for the last minute here and like focus a little bit. So Boar, I need to get Boar and Duplicator Tome maxed out. Is my goal before this. And then also like I kind of want to level up and then like not get anywhere near experience for this last enrage. Okay, so kite this guy. I gotta pay attention to this. He's gonna try and hit me in a second here. I just gotta not move. Okay, good. Whoa. I think the one good thing too is like I'm at no health for this vulnerability phase right now, which means that I'll do an extra amount of damage. Okay, so I have everything that I want maxed for the big moment. So it's just going to come down on execution for this last enrage timer. And this is like orb blocking as best I can in between getting pummeled with the machine guns. Give myself some space here so I don't accidentally die right at the end. All right. So my goal here is to get clipped by a projectile. Please don't evade it, buddy. Oh, we got it. All right. So he evaded the first 3. All right, now you gotta die. I leveled up. Oh, shit. Die. Die, buddy. There we go. Okay. So that wasn't as perfect as Void Raven, but it'll play. Whee! Damage, 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 damage. Woo! Run away! Nice. There we go. So you can see, right, this one bunny run is the same as like all my other ones put together. You have 4 important runs each week. 2 Warlord, 2 Bunny, and then everybody else. So There's Gatling gun doing work. That's like my 3rd or 4th trillion. I'll take that. And that revive wasn't totally perfect, but that's about as good as I'm going to get it. So I'm very happy with that. Right, so like 1 trillion here is the same as both of the assassins, the Void Raven, and the Knight. They're all of them put together. 5, 6, 7, 10. Yeah. So I'm happy with that. Save myself total humiliation with like one final good bunny run. Do I have any shot in the top 10 here? Probably not. I did not play well enough this week to get in the top 10. Also some big names here. Cake Moraturi. Sorry for saying your name absolutely wrong. One of the best players in the game. Really good guy. Dog Josh, he's the man. He's been making fun of me since before it was cool. So I really appreciate Dog Josh. Michael, are you in? Yeah, he's in Cake or Death now. Really strong hero. Really strong player. The Cake guys are really good. Oh man, Spider Pig. Look at that. The apprentice has become the master. Druid is super strong in Boss Brawl. I just don't own Druid. So I have debated spending the $50 to grab him many a time, but I am very much in my free-to-play phase, and so I have not spent the money to grab him. All right, so I'm happy to do one last goofy run after this bunny run, so just let me know who you want me to do after bunny. Happy to run it. All right, so Gatling gun, damage, Phantom Fang. We need status effects. We got burning from our pet. We need crit, so we'll take it now. In the last run, I think getting like XP tome instead of like whatever tome I had to just settle for that one time would have been like slightly more optimal, but it's fine. All right, so I need Slingshot. Taking this because I still need Slingshot. Slingshot is the one guy we're missing here. 4 expose. And that gives me all my statuses. And again, status multiples are the most important thing in Boss Brawl. And in kind of like late game max damage situations. What just hit me there? Oh, his little like minions. Got it. Whoa! Really? The minions? It's not cool. That wasn't cool, minions. That was super random. All right. At this point, it's Mighty Boar Evo. And we'll go from there. Let's see. 4 cooldown tome. Again, cooldown tome is exponential increase in damage. So every time you get closer to that 90% cap, it's like almost doubles basically. I mean, it's not quite, but it's close. So going from like 80 to 90% cooldown is super important. It like might even like 5 times your damage. It's a crazy increase to your damage. All right, I gotta be careful during this enrage here to not get hit. Cool. All right, that went well. All right, this is pretty decent RNG on items. And I obviously don't need the recovery tome, but everything else has been going pretty swimmingly. I will say, at the end of the day, I ended up getting all the status effects that I wanted. So I did my weapon build out correct, and I executed pretty well up until that last revive on every hero, in which case you need to eat a projectile with heroic gear in order to just have enough like damage taken to die on time. So that's good to know. Is like you need to step into a machine gun fire. Oh, this animation is taking way too long. It's not great. 1 point in crit. All right, I'm at full damage, so now it's just like extra fun. If I can evolve anything randomly, it'd be nice, but don't need it. All right, and there's 7 seconds between the last enrage and the vulnerability phase, so it's going to be tighter this time because that animation of him walking up was pretty long. All right, I'm actually at a good percentage health here. If I can just not die. All right, I'll take this. Pretty solid. Nice. That's perfectly done. All right, cool. I'm happy with that run. I mean, I didn't need to die to the minions for no real reason at all at the beginning. That was kind of random, but perfectly fine. Perfectly good run other than that. Woo! And that was really well timed revive. I used the fire there too. So I guess if I don't get hit by a projectile, I'll just run into the fire. Cool. Those were 2 really solid bunny runs. This one may have actually been better than the other one. Yeah, that's right about the same. Cool. All right, does anyone have any last hero they want me to run? I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So any last wishes? I would like to do Sentry Specialist, but I don't have to. Just for my own data purposes. If anyone has any preferences beyond her. Where are you at, Sentry? You're up here somewhere. Critical Strike is good. Cooldown is good. I can do Oracle or Inkbot. I got Oracle. I got her evolution with the last event. Sorry, with Hard Mode Arena. So let me give Oracle a shot. That's a good one. Inkbot's not going to be interesting just because he's just level like 90, so he's just not going to do anything. But Oracle, I could actually like show you what she does on in this game mode. Where are you, Oracle? Oh, I also didn't run Big Game Hunter, who's usually a pretty standard weekly one for me. She needs more cooldown. $80 and 61, okay. And then what does her Evo do? You don't need stunned. Actually, you know what? I will take stunned because in theory, the boss is stunned during vulnerability phase. No, oh, that's not the right hero. So many little things to check. All right, damage to freezing, burning, good, and double projectiles. Awesome, perfect. Okay, I wish that this carousel would be the same when you leave it and come back, but what can you do? Okay, slingshot, good. Cooldown is good. Boar is good. So her orbs stay at that radius around her, and I think you need to keep the boss in the orbs as best you can. All right, that's all my... I need poison darts still. Because her orbs go out around you, and you need the boss to be standing in the orbs as best you can. All right, I need poison darts. Poison darts and a prayer. There we go. Cool. All right, I did have good. I will take this weapon RNG, but besides the very first run, the very first like 5 seconds, I've had very good weapon RNG this entire run. So I'm happy with that. And I'm trying to keep like the radius of her orbs on the boss at all times. That's kind of my mental the mental game I'm trying to play here. All right, and I have everything I need, so I'm going to try and just get up her weapon involved now. Just like greed rolls for her weapon and then take anything I need to on the back end. So I might just take, I don't really want to take armor tome there. Just because dying has been such a troublesome burden so far. Cool. I don't know if standing on the boss too makes sense with her. It probably does. I actually have not, honestly, have not done a whole bunch of runs with Oracle on Boss Brawl because I haven't had her evolution until this week. So I'm not like 100% well versed in like optimal standing places for her. Man, this game really wants me to evolve Phantom Fang. The big thing with her evolution is it connects all the orbs together, and they start doing like ticking damage as Hordes stay in the middle of them. So that's where you get the big damage amp from her evolution. Because these are all like... Oh. That wasn't clean. But I'll take it. I think this is where I want to stand. I don't know. Does anyone have any... Does anyone know? Do you stand in the middle with Oracle, or do you stand at the radius of her orbs? That's my one question. Alright, so let's get Boar evolved hopefully before the end of this. Cool. Alright, so I'm in a pretty good spot here. Ooh. That wasn't super clean, but it's alright. I wonder how that angle took. I'm gonna need to get clipped. Either need to get clipped by a projectile, or I need to run into the fire. Alright, so I'm running into the fire here. Cool. Perfect. Alright, so running into the fire is a very strategic way to get yourself killed. Good to know. And standing on the boss is totally fine with her, too. Run away. Okay, cool. That was good. That was a good ending. I ran the last 4 super clean. So, 4 out of 10. Nice. That's actually a pretty solid score. Prophecy Hordes did some work. Anytime a hero outpaces Spiky Boar, then you know that their main weapon is worth taking and like maximizing. So that's really strong. A good run with Oracle. I nailed that last revive. So what do we learn this week? Either you need to take a projectile clip during the last enrage, or you need to kite back into the fire and use the fire as the way to make sure that you die. At least when you're at heroic gear, probably a mythic too. Otherwise, you just risk the chance of just not dying. So that's good to know. Let's see where I placed. Not going to be high enough, right? So she beat out... That's actually a really, really strong run. I'm really happy with Oracle at 4-star Forge. At 5-star Forge, you get both of her orbs now can link between multiple ones. So that should up the damage too. So that's actually a really strong boss bar run for Oracle. I'm happy with that. And that could be someone that like I run 1 time a week for sure going forward. So that's encouraging. All right, let's see. So Lena sent me like 12 tickets. I only needed 10, so I have like way more. Fortunately, I didn't crack the top 10 this week. I almost did. If I had just played better on Warlord, or like literally any of my first 6 runs, I'd be in the top 10. So that hurts. What's the reward for the top 10? So I'm missing out on like 1,000 tokens there because I executed poorly in the first 10 or so runs. But on the bright side, I still beat Spider Pig. Although I guess he still has tomorrow to go. Oh no, he's got tomorrow. No. So Spider Pig may have the last laugh, depending on whether or not he's still got Bunny in his arsenal. So we'll see. But thanks to everyone for stopping by. I appreciate it. Sorry the first half of this video was so poorly done. Next time for Boss Brawl, I will figure out how to practice beforehand so that I don't come in cold and just play awful. And I now have some better pointers too for dealing with the Goblin robot in terms of like how to like make sure that you die on time. Because again, the revive timing is the most important part of the run, so you gotta make sure that you hit it. And I'm Coles. Please subscribe if you like the content. You can sign up for my Patreon for a monthly HVH giveaway. You can also become an executive producer. The executive producers of this include, and I'm going to say Lady Ikaika's name wrong again because I don't have her video in front of me, but it's, I got Cake Invictus, Riverwind, The Wubba, Krabs, Charlos, Dustin, Jason, Lady Ikaika, Paradox, and just now Arc. So thank you everybody for your support. Really appreciate it. And remember, always do your adventures. Thanks a lot, guys. Sorry that was so bad. Hopefully next week I won't be so nervous the first 5 runs and be better. Have a good rest of your day. See you next week.